One of my favorite parts of Stories 2 has been seeing all of the kinships, which is why we've made multiple videos about them. One thing we haven't done yet though is talk about our favorites. We've shown the main 87 and then we've looked at the lesser known secret ones. The thing is, there is actually a big difference between many of these kinships. Some are super silly, some are super serious. There's special rare ones, surprise ones. They've clearly had a lot of fun with these. So, welcome back to Rage Gaming, my name is Hollow, and here are my 5 best kinships in Stories 2, or rather my favorite from each category. Let's start with an incredible one, a complete shock, the biggest surprise. This is the most unexpected kinship. Absolutely incredible. Not only is this hilarious and kind of scary at the same time, but damn, the sound it makes when they're whirring around the target. That was the special co-op herbivore kinship, which you can do with different herbivores if you trigger the kinships as a duo in co-op. What's also interesting is how they have 2 versions. There's the horizontal and then also the vertical versions, which are slightly different from one another. If you aren't aware, I made a video talking about all the different co-op kinships and how they work, and from those, we were very shocked to find that the goddamn herbivores had one of the best, if not the coolest kinship. I love it when you compare it to, say, the Aptonoth's original solo kinship, where it runs and slips on a banana. This is so much cooler. Very cool, very unexpected. But next up then, my favorite of the newest kinships, which are of course the Palamus. The Palamus have been a wonderful addition to the Monster Hunter universe as a whole, and I really do hope we see them again after Rise. So I'm very pleased to see them in Stories, and not only that, just how important they are. Their genes are essentially the best way to get strong element genes consistently, and their kinship really reminds me of, you know, that original Rise cinematic. This one, where the Palamus is running across the shrine ruins to go find the hunter, climbing over terrain just like the kinship. Maybe this is a little bit more deadly in Stories, sure, with the huge explosion based on which element Palamus you're actually using. In this case, I picked Dragon Palamus for my favorite because I just think the color looks incredible. They all look cool though, to be fair, but the dragon one stood out the most for me. Moving on to our third category then, story kinships. The most requested and talked about kinship from my different kinship videos was easily Ratha's special story kinship. You see, this kinship is only possible at a very specific point in the story, and then after that, you can never do it again. What's also really weird is how it won't show up in the gallery for you to watch back like most other kinships, making it one of, if not the, most rare kinship in the game currently. Generally, people actually agree that this one is cooler than the final version when he reaches his quote peak of his story, which essentially is a slightly more interesting Rathalos kinship. Either way, this one is very cool. We're at a point where Ratha's still not able to control his power properly, and it's shown so well with how you're barely able to contain it and direct it at a specific place. It's like you're on the back of a creature that's firing around atom bombs. Pretty scary. Second to last then, I will call this, as Rage called it, the best badass kinship. Monkey wins every time. RageGaming is one of the scariest and most powerful monsters when you think about how he's just basically a big monkey who's mad. He's so stupid, or I guess arguably intelligent, that he eats parts of an elder dragon to gain its thunderous power. Imagine if he started eating others. No Gigante who? This choice was really hard though. There's so many badass kinships, you know, awesome serious attacks and more. Astalos being a favorite one for me as well. But I honestly love Rajang's one. It shows his super mode perfectly, and he's bouncing around at such lightning speed, you can barely even see him as he bounces through the air on falling rocks. And it's a great, like, reference as he creates his own spirit bomb out of a giant rock. There's obviously some Dragon Ball fans in the dev team. And as far as serious kinships go, this has got to be a top tier one. But now we're at number 1. While this isn't exactly a top 5 kinship overall video, but more of my favorite from 5 different categories, there does have to be a winner. And so, the best overall kinship in Monster Hunter Stories 2, let's see it. Yeah, I mean, come on, it had to be. Bracky's a great monster, and also, Rage would probably never forgive me if I didn't include him in this video, but he's honestly right. Bracky does get both a hilarious and also kind of badass kinship. If you ignore the montage, it's a powerful, charged up punch in a cool art style, which is perfect for him. But there's also, you know, the Rocky montage, which was a big surprise for me. Apparently he had something like this in the first game. I've never played that. It just gives Bracky like a lot more character than any of the other kinships in the game. And the amount of people who told me Bracky is their favorite kinship when I asked around, he's obviously a fan favorite. Just a great combination of silly and serious. This is peak kinship for me. However, there are so many good options from like the 100 kinships in the game so far. And I want to give special mention to Nagakuga, whether it's the Deviant or regular version, for having one of the coolest kinships that you can get early in the story. But there's so many good options from each of these categories, I could end up making specific videos about it. Let me know if you agree with my choices for each of them though, and what was your overall favorite kinship. But there's more content coming to the game, more updates. You gotta wonder if maybe we'll see like a kinship related cinematic for Kolv. I know she's gonna be a monster, not a monstie, but I'm sure she's gonna do something special. Anyway, for now, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.